Well, happy Monday. I hope everyone's doing well. I am on deadline for my next book, and I figure every once in a while, maybe every day, I don't know, I'm gonna jump in and just give you a little bit of a taste of what I'm working on, because it's a little bit of fuel for me to be able to talk through the process of my process. And today, I'm starting at the beginning. Good morning. There is something interesting, because the entirety of this book that I am writing, it is called That's Not What Ships Are Built For, is about this decision that we have to make to charge into the unknown, charge toward the choppy water where growth inevitably actually exists, where the purpose of your life can be fully realized. And I'm right now unpacking a conversation that I had with a good friend of mine named Ethan Willis, maybe 6-7 months ago, as I myself was trying to understand what I was actually charging toward. It's a really interesting thing, because I don't know that any of us are interested necessarily in just staying inside of the place that we're at. If we're stuck particularly, or if we're suffering particularly, the idea that we would choose to stay inside of suffering that we know, or choose to stay stuck. I mean, there is, I think, something inside of our humanity that maybe has us choosing something that's familiar against something that is bigger, that is better, that is different, because of the fear of what that unknown might look like. But I'm writing in real time about this idea that in order to make the choice to charge toward the choppy water, you actually have to have a handle. You have to have a sense of what you're charging toward. And a lot of times, that kind of a conversation requires that you have some handle on your purpose. Why the heck are you on this planet? Why are you here? So I had this conversation, and like I say, I'm in real time trying to unpack it, blow it out, write it into a chapter of a book that will be available next year at the end of the year. But the thing that we talked about was that the questions that you ask about where you're headed are not necessarily created equal, which is such an interesting thing, right? In the search for yourself, in the search to understand who you are, not every question is created equal. There's a quote that he brought up in the midst of our conversation from Henry Thoreau. Do not hack at the branches, strike at the root. And the idea here was that your identity, your core of who you believe yourself to be and why you believe yourself to be placed on this planet, is the root. And that the roles that you play, those are the branches. And so often we find ourselves paying attention to the branches instead of actually diving into and trying to strike at the core, the root of who we are and why we were placed on this planet. So the big first question that I am suggesting you and I have to ask as we decide to make this decision to leave a harbor of safety and security or familiarity is, what was I designed specifically to do? What did God specifically design me to do? You may not believe in the God that I believe in, but what did the creator of the universe, who made you uniquely as you are, design you to do? That's a big, heavy, existential kind of question, but if you can get to the core of that big question, you may in fact have a better sense of where you are meant to head, where in leaving the thing that you know for the thing that you need, you are headed toward. Because you're going to have some sense of direction as to where you're wanting to go and why you believe that you're headed that way, right? Our biggest impact and our deepest feelings of happiness are going to come when we can fulfill the measure of our creation. Whew, that is a heavy single sentence, but the idea is that our greatest impact, all the fulfillment that we're hoping for, all the happiness that we desire, it actually shows up when we fulfill the measure of our creation. And so the challenge that was given to me in this conversation from my friend, Ethan, he's such a good dude, was, what would it mean to shift the question from God, help me accomplish my goals, or God, help me do these things, or God, help me on this mission, to God, what would you have me accomplish? Universe, what would you have me accomplish? Right? You have been very, very specifically put on this planet with a set of skills that is completely different than any other person on this planet. You were created for a reason. And for that reason, that's the mandate. That's the reason why you can go pursue the life, the vision, the dream that you have. But the idea of shifting from, I have a set of goals, God, please help me accomplish them, to, I'm sorry, let me reframe it, God, what would you have me accomplish, is a massive switch that may in fact be the thing that gives you permission and a belief in yourself to go out and do the thing that you were put on this planet to do. Fulfillment and power, they flow through us by tapping into a capacity beyond our own, right? They just flow through acknowledging that we have been afforded some skills, some things in terms of what we can do and the way that we're wired and the way that we think and all of those things. And the ability for us to tap into that capacity beyond our own, that in and of itself is the passport, is the ticket, is the permission, is the mandate to go do the things that we want to go and achieve. So I'm going to keep writing on that today. But if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling tethered in some ways to something that you are comfortable with, even if it might be suffering that you are comfortable with, even if it might be stuck that you are comfortable with, if you can reframe a little bit of the questioning that you are doing of why you are on this planet and what the unique set of skills that you have been afforded may in fact have been given to you for, well then you have permission to go chase the choppiness that exists in the waters outside the harbor in a way that actually will fulfill the destiny that you were put on this planet to achieve. I'm here for it. The book that I'm writing, it's broken down into these different sections. Where are you? Where are you going? What's it going to take? How do you level up? And in this first section, where are you? I'm really starting with this conversation around calling and values, the way that you have an identity in who you think you are and why you think you're here, and how you have, through the experiences of your life, told stories about what you believe yourself to be capable of, what you think you can or can't do. And this first section includes this big conversation of like, what is my purpose on this planet? Where the heck am I going? I know that I want to go chase down the things that exist inside the choppy waters outside of my comfort zone, but I have to have a sense of where I'm heading before I leave the harbor. And so getting a little bit of a handle on what is the purpose for why I have been placed on this planet? How, God, might you have me accomplish these works because of the way that you have fundamentally afforded me this very specific set of skills, fundamentally put me on this planet for a very, very specific reason. You can get to the bottom of that. Now you've got a little bit of a map and permission to go and chase these things. All right, happy Monday. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm writing about tomorrow, but I'll talk about it then. I hope you all have a fantastic day.